She kicked me out for a week to grade our relationship. I sent her the final score before she could start. You need to leave the apartment. For a week, I, 32 small, almost dropped the lukewarm coffee I was holding. It was a Monday evening, 6:40 p.m. My now ex-girlfriend, Chloe, 30F, was standing in the middle of our living room, flanked by 2 carry-on suitcases, looking like she was staging an eviction. This wasn't a fight. This was a corporate takeover. "Excuse me, Chloe, where exactly am I going for a week?" I asked, setting the mug down. 4 years, 2,600 nights sleeping next to her, and she was talking about a forced sabbatical. She didn't blink. Her eyes were focused, clinical. My therapist, Dr. Schmidt, suggested I perform a controlled environmental review. It means I need complete solitude, no external influence, to complete the final assessment. She gestured toward her leather-bound journal and a stack of color-coded index cards on the ottoman. "I'm finalizing the decision matrix about our long-term viability, Caleb. I need to know, objectively, if you meet my future criteria." I stared at the index cards. My future criteria. Criteria? I thought we were building a life, not submitting a portfolio for your approval. Don't be dramatic. This is critical self-work. Dr. Schmidt says that to avoid future emotional debt, I have to be brutally honest about my needs. She emphasized needs like it was a legal term I couldn't possibly understand. "I need you gone until next Monday. I'll text you the final assessment on Sunday night. I need time to weigh the variables." That was the moment the blood went cold. Not hurt, but a perfect crystalline fury. She wanted me, the man who paid 70% of the rent and covered the $800 property insurance premium last week, to check into a hotel for a full 7 days so she could grade my worth. "Okay," I said, my voice shockingly calm. "You want an objective assessment? Fine, give me 5 minutes." I walked straight into the home office. I didn't pack a bag. I opened my personal laptop. The one she always complained was too old, created a new document, and typed a title: Caleb's Review of the Chloe or Caleb Partnership, Final Draft. I hit enter and typed one single word, bold and centered: terminated. I printed it, walked out, and slapped the single sheet of paper onto her stack of index cards. "Congratulations, Chloe. Here's my finding. You didn't even make it to the review stage." She just sat there, mouth slightly open, staring at the printout. I grabbed my keys, my wallet, and my laptop bag. I didn't need clothes. I didn't need toiletries. I needed distance. "Take all the time you need for your self-work," I said, walking toward the door. "But when you're done, you'll be doing it somewhere else. I'll text you the 3-hour window for collecting your things later this week." And I walked out. I drove straight to my friend Mark's place. Mark, 32M, works from home and always has a spare futon. I was there by 7:30 p.m. I told him the whole story, leaning against his kitchen counter, sipping a beer. He just whistled. "A week to grade you? That's nuclear, man. I'm impressed by your one-word termination, though." I was just tired of being a project. My phone started vibrating violently on the counter at 8:12 p.m. It was Chloe, then her best friend Sarah, then her mom. I muted the whole thing. The texts were predictably manic. Chloe: "Caleb, this is absurd. You can't just throw away 4 years over a therapeutic exercise." Chloe: "I was trying to be mature about this. You are sabotaging my growth." Sarah: "What is wrong with you? She's literally sobbing. You need to come home and apologize to her for being so childish." Her mom, Lynn: "Caleb, you need to answer your partner. This instability is terrible for her anxiety." I left them all on mute. I slept soundly for the first time in months. The next morning, Tuesday, I got to work. I'm a software engineer, 95K base. Everything was fine until 11:45 a.m. when my direct line desk phone rang. A line only 4 people in the world use. It was Lynn, Chloe's mother. "You need to answer my daughter's texts immediately. She can't function. She's talking about legal action." I rubbed my temple. "Lynn, I am at my office. This conversation is inappropriate. Chloe decided she needed a full week of solitude to decide if I was viable. I decided she wasn't. That's the end of the partnership. She was being thoughtful. She needs clarity. And I provided it immediately. Someone who requires a corporate checklist to determine my worth is not someone I'm marrying. I'm hanging up now." I hung up the phone. 2 hours later, I got a highly professional-looking email from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line: mediation request, Caleb and Chloe, Dr. Schmidt. It was her therapist offering a joint session to process the rupture. I didn't even delete it. I blocked the email domain immediately. The complete lack of boundaries was astounding. I sent Chloe a single text on Wednesday afternoon: "Sunday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., 3 hours to collect your personal property. Bring help. If you don't show, the boxes go into storage and you'll be billed monthly." Her response was immediate and hysterical. You cannot legally do that. I have tenant rights. I've lived there for 2.5 years. My reply, the lease is only in my name, signed before you moved in. You are not on any utility bills. You are a long-term guest, Chloe. Your guest status expired Monday night when you requested I vacate my own property so you could evaluate me. No response after that. Just silence. I didn't go home until Friday night, returning to pack up her remaining belongings. The true confrontation happened on Sunday. I was at the apartment at 12:45 p.m. The minute the clock hit 1 p.m., my doorbell rang. It wasn't just Chloe. It was Chloe, Lynn, her father Alan, and Sarah, the best friend, the full intervention squad. I opened the door. "You're late," I said, stepping aside. Alan, her father, a large man who always thought he was the alpha in any room, stepped forward. "We need to discuss this like rational adults, Caleb. You are overreacting." I was asked to leave my home for a week so my value could be assessed. My reaction was simple self-preservation. "Chloe, you have 3 hours. Start packing." Chloe was crying, but it felt performative. "I wasn't going to end it, Caleb. I swear. The pros list was longer. I was just trying to be logical about our commitment." "Then what were the cons?" I cut her off. I had to know, and I wanted her to say them out loud in front of her family. "If you were so sure, tell me the 3 biggest cons about the man you were supposed to marry." She choked on a sob. Lynn put a hand on her shoulder. "Honey, you don't have to share your private therapeutic process with him." "No, Mom, he wants to know," Chloe spat, wiping her nose with the back of her hand, the tears hardening into resentment. "Fine. You want to know? 1. Your salary is stagnant. $95K a year is fine, but it will never get us the house in the school district I want. You've been at the same company for 7 years. You're not ambitious enough." I nodded. That was the core of it, money. 2. You're too comfortable. You have 0 spontaneity. You refuse to travel abroad, you like your local bar, and you play video games 3 nights a week. You're boring. "And the 3rd? I pressed. I could feel Alan shifting his weight uncomfortably. Sarah was staring intently at the floor. "The 3rd, Chloe whispered, is that you always treat our relationship like a stable asset, not a growth investment. You assume I'm always going to be here, and you don't fight for me or challenge me." I smiled, a cold, hard, genuine smile. "I don't make enough money, I'm boring, and I treat you like a stable asset. Thank you, Chloe. That clears things up." I walked into the kitchen and grabbed the large garbage bags I'd bought. I'm a stable, boring $95,000 asset who just decided his investment portfolio is severely compromised. I'm divesting immediately. The timer starts now. 3:45 p.m. Everything else gets stored. Her family finally moved. Alan started helping me bag her shoes. The air was thick with shame and silence. In 45 minutes, they had loaded everything into Alan's truck. Chloe stopped at the door. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice small. "I just wanted someone to push me. I thought you would fight me for the list." "I fought for myself," I said. "You wanted a partner who was an ambitious, high-earning, adventure-seeking project. I just wanted a partner who loved the stable, boring me. We're fundamentally incompatible." They drove away. I didn't change the locks, but I did immediately switch the Wi-Fi password. 5-week update. The aftermath. The financial threat started the next day. An email from a $200 lawyer demanded $5,000 for uncompensated tenancy and emotional damages. I forwarded it to a friend who handles corporate law. His advice was the same. Ignore it. She has 0 legal standing. The harassment was much worse. Chloe created 5 burner social media accounts to leave comments on my old posts. She posted vague booking statuses about narcissistic manipulators who demand perfection and financial abuse. I lost 2 mutual friends, but I saw it as necessary filtering. The final curtain dropped 2 weeks ago. I got a message on LinkedIn, not my personal cell, but my professional account. It was a man named David, 35A. His profile showed he was a senior director at a rival tech firm, easily pulling $160K plus. David's message was blunt. "I need to talk to you about Chloe. We've been dating for 3 weeks. She told me you two broke up 8 months ago and that you were emotionally controlling and forced her out. I found one of her posts about the pros and cons list online, and the timeline doesn't match. What is the real story?" I told him everything. The week-long eviction demand, the one-word list, the confrontation, the specific cons she listed about my salary and ambition. David was silent for about 10 seconds after I finished. Jesus Christ. I was starting to think I was crazy. She asked me about my 401k contribution and my plans for a European retirement fund on the second date. She was interviewing me for the position. I laughed out loud in the middle of my kitchen. You, David, are the upgrade. The 160K, senior director, travel abroad, ambitious model. She wasn't doing self-work. She was just trying to justify trading up. David broke up with her immediately. Apparently she went ballistic, claiming she was abandoned and traumatized twice now. He just blocked her. I got a text from David later that night. Dude, you saved me about 2 years of my life. Thanks. Also, she's back on the apps. Her filter is set to 150K minimum. The apartment is mine again. I repainted the living room in a deep navy blue, the color she always vetoed. I adopted a massive lazy Labrador named Gus, the most low-maintenance and appreciative roommate I've ever had. I'm dating casually now. Met a woman, Sarah, 31F, a pediatric nurse, who actually seems interested in me. On our second date, I told her the entire story of the decision matrix. She paused, then took my hand and said, "She treated you like a spreadsheet, and you used the delete key. That's not overreacting. That's setting a gold standard boundary. She's amazing. We're going to that local bar Chloe always complained about next week. I'm still the stable, boring 95K guy. And I'm finally good with that."